Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me. Welcome, everybody. This is for the sign of Taurus. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to get started a little bit early today, taking a look at the monthly reading. And always, this helps you navigate through the next 6 to 8 weeks. Today, I'm starting a little bit earlier than usual because there's going to be some repairs being done in the building. I woke up and my guides were like, you better do this earlier than later. So I'm here to make sure that we can have an uninterrupted session today. So fingers crossed. As always, I like to begin with channeled messages. And today, a lot of information came through surrounding emotional sensitivity, emotional vulnerability, and basically just being tuned in. So I think this is actually quite auspicious, but we'll get into that in just a moment. If you like what you see here, a quick reminder, hitting that like and subscribe helps quite a bit. It's free and it helps the channel grow and reach more people. So if you wonder why the creators ask, it's because of that. It just is an easy way to say thank you. So if you feel inclined to do it, I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and get into the channeled messages. Today, you did get a totem. Some days, the way my intuition's been working, I've been seeing sort of like vignettes or clear downloads of what's happening. So sometimes I'll see a nature totem. Sometimes I'm just being shown like a script. So I'm kind of going with whatever the universe wants to show me on a given day. You got a little bit of a blend of the two. And so what I picked up on was emotional release. I would even go so far, hey buddy, you want to say hi? As saying water is a piece of today's totem. Before Apollo leaves, we'll pull him up for a second. Basically, I saw this bubble of water, and I feel many of you might be having this sort of emotional or creative release that you need to figure out how to have an outlet for. So we'll look at that. Some hidden blessings. And then also the energy that I picked up in meditation was that of a moth when it came to your totem. Lots of little kisses here from Apollo. I'm going to put him down, but he did want to say hi for a sec. Okay, so emotional release. When I saw this big bubble floating in front of me, to me, it could be like so many different things. For some of you, you might be holding on to something, and that bubble of energy, as represented by the water, could be representing what you're holding on to. It could also be creative energy that is right in your field that's kind of asking to be tapped into. Now's the time to find a way to channel release or at least acknowledge the energy, because sometimes we can become beholden to the energy if we don't take a look at it and say, yes, I see you. Yes, let's do something about it. There's so many different ways through which you can basically maximize this energy. So for some of you, it might be exercise. It could be an artistic endeavor, therapy, of course, if you need to talk something through. And also, like the Queen is illustrated here, and this is the one that I'm going to use in today's reading, you can basically just let the energy go through you, because as creatives, as mediums, as intuitives, one of the things that we work on is learning how to channel and harness it. And so sometimes you just have to be in the feel. So I love how she's just sitting there and saying, all right, this is how I feel today. This is how I feel in this moment. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is how I'm always going to feel. Once we process the emotions and the energy, we can move on to the next thing. All right, so the next thing that I saw, hey buddy, let's give you a toy so you can relax, was the energy archaeologist, we'll call it. And basically this is your inner high priestess coming through, and it's giving you a chance to basically see something that other people don't. So one thing, when I was a kid, one of the things that I thought could be cool as a career is archaeology, because basically that's what you're doing. You're finding hidden treasures. It's a lot of work though. You're gonna get your hands dirty. You gotta dig in the dust. You can spend a lot of time researching. So people may not understand what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're intuiting. And the main thing here is to embrace what it is that you know to be true and what you're finding. So you might be a little bit on the cutting or bleeding edge with this particular energy, but to me, it's a very good symbol. And of course, that's why I featured the High Priestess here. So she knows and sees things before others do. You don't have to tell everybody what you're seeing. You don't have to explain yourself to everybody. Sometimes you just have to follow the intuition and see where it might lead. Your ability to go deeper, further, or in different places where other people aren't willing to is also going to be advantageous for you. So allow yourself to really to explore all the possibilities and see where that takes you, okay? Again, this could also be the ability to pick up on something that other people have overlooked or just didn't see the value in, because sometimes people are looking for the obvious. It has to be like right in front of them, blinking green light, or they don't accept it. So your energetic archaeologist energy is basically allowing you to go beyond the obvious. And the totem that you got this month is a moth. I love moths and butterflies. Both have a slightly different a read, because I believe if I did my research correctly, all butterflies are moths, but moths are just moths. So basically, butterflies are moths that decided they wanted to kind of experience the daytime, and they evolved differently. There was kind of like this fork in the evolutionary sort of development. But moths are ancient, so that's one thing. And they have this ability to change when people aren't noticing, because they're a nocturnal insect. So for you, there could be stuff that's going on beneath the surface while you're sleeping, or you're working so hard that you're not seeing the changes as you sort of cocoon into this new version of yourself. So this month is about, like, there may be an awakening. It could be subtle, or it could be a surprising awakening. But know this, you've been working on this change or this epiphany for a while. And when you finally break free of the cocoon, it makes it nonetheless, impactful, and you're absolutely ready for that. Okay? So those are your totems for today, and those are the energies surrounding all of that. So just to go back to the initial slide, if there's any energy that's building up in front of you, emotional energy in particular, now is the time to embrace it, acknowledge it, and figure out what you're going to do to basically make something of that. Hidden blessings may be revealed to you. You may see them before others. And now's the time to allow yourself to take flight and not second guess or doubt when this sort of epiphany happens and you think, wow, I'm ready for this. Yes, you are. You've done the work. All right, let's move on to the next portion of the reading. We're going to look at the Celtic Cross. Again, so good to see all of you here today. This portion can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus, just like I listed here. And any placement in your chart. We will take a little bit of a look at Sun, Rising, and Moon later. All right, welcome everybody. And yeah, today's a little bit of a surprise with the time. Again, there's some construction going on in the apartment, or some repairs going on in the apartment complex that I'm in, and I wanted to make sure that that didn't disrupt our reading, because I care about you guys and I wanted to focus. So I got up early. Okay. Thank you and welcome. I see we had a new member when I stepped in. All the members that are continuing to join, you allow me to do more videos, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. And to all the subscribers as well. It's good to have you that are in the chat room here today. If you want to join the live chat, as long as you've been a member, well, as long as you've subscribed for like half an hour, you can chat. So feel free to subscribe now and join in on the conversation if you haven't already. There we've got our change and metamorphosis card. I see a few of you got up early to watch me as well, so thank you to the folks that are on the other side of the world. It's good to have you here as well. Just reset my monitor on the side and then we'll get started. Okay, we'll begin first with the catalyst card for today. and we have the sea otter coming through. As you can see with the catalyst, this is going to help you stay on track, create some change, create some movement in your life. Let's read this card upright here for a moment. It says, be the master of playful living. Otters are playful. Release expectations and enjoy every day. Let go of worry and instead choose love. Surrender to the waves. This is kind of what I was talking about with the Queen of Cups. And your good destiny of love is sure. So it's basically, and what's kind of cool with the otters is they can kind of go between two different elements, so water and earth. So they have the ability to be grounded, and they can also submerge themselves. Going with the flow is a part of this as well, right? So happiness is something that sometimes it takes a little bit of work to allow yourself to experience that. It's not just a given, right? Happiness is also context. It is your divine right to feel happiness and love, but a lot of times you have to shift your perspective and figure out where the joy is, where the blessing is in something. And the otter is doing that through play. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you just hung out with a friend or did something for self-care, self-nurturing? If you've been depriving yourself of that because, you know, as we were taught in the previous generation or previous generations, you know, if you play, you're not working, you're not serious, it's not allowing you to be the best version of yourself. The reverse is true. You're going to be more productive, you're going to be much happier, and you're going to have a better perspective on life when you have some fun. So I'm here to enable the playful nature, and that's actually what we have here with the Three of Cups here in the outcome. Have some fun, change things up. This can actually be a way to embrace the energy of change. Let's go ahead now and dig into that centermost card, the Chariot. And these two cards are very telling because this is the opportunity, and this could be like accelerating or blocking it. So Four of Cups, hidden blessing. So very nicely connected to channeled messages. Chariot reversed. It's literally asking you, who's in charge? Whose idea is this? Who's the boss? The Chariot upright is you're the boss. You're taking the reins. You're deciding to move forward. But in reverse, the main energy that's coming through first is a challenge, the energy of challenge. So someone in your life could be saying, why do you think you can do that? Or why do you want to do that? Or there's some questions or interrogation. You could be asking yourself, can I do this? Should I do this? Ultimately, you still have the energy of the Chariot, which is yes, it's beautiful. And you get to decide which direction. Only you can decide. I'm here as to present a map in front of you and to show you some destinations. I'm your tour guide with tarot, but I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can show you the potential. So you're always carrying the reins to the Chariot. So the first message today is don't underestimate the power of deciding. Don't give away your power. Never second guess your ability to do something. You are the GPS, okay? You always are. I'm just kind of lighting it up for you a little bit here. That's why I don't work with fear-based readings. Like, it's all potential. It's all possibility. So you get to choose one path or another. This is another card that shows that choice. And I encourage you to look towards the cup to the right. Well, let's see. Yes, to my right, it's going to look different on camera, but basically this one. So the Four of Cups, usually these are spilled. Kind of interesting the way that we have the Three of Cups in the outcome and we have 3 cups here. We have the 3 cups with people looking in the other direction. People aren't always going to understand you. They may not always celebrate your success. You may find out who your true friends are this month, and that is a blessing. Even if there's a little bit of a disappointment in it, like I thought that person had my back, or I thought this was what I wanted. It's just as good to know that you don't want something or someone isn't your sort of ride or die kind of person, because then you can focus on something that is better deserving of your energy. And the universe is knocking with something beautiful. You have an ace basically in the corner, and it's saying, hey, over here, have you thought about this? Or what about, and it's also asking you, are you happy? That's basically this card. Are you happy? Why are you unhappy? Why not try this? There is an obvious choice for some of you. You've already decided, but you may be on the fence, kind of like the Judgment card in reverse. I don't know, can I do it? Should I do it? This is also the card of the grass is always greener on the other side. But is it really? What if that grass is artificial grass? you don't really know what's going on over there. So always count your blessings and look at the opportunities. Archaeologist is this one as well. High Priestess and Four of Cups. You got to look at the stuff that's around you, and that comes through gratitude and also through not feeling like it's you versus someone else or you versus the world. You're on your own journey here, and you're your own architect of this as well, okay? In the deep past, we have a very similar message to what's going on in the present. So here's your present, here's your deep past. Emperor reversed. Again, this is why this card is reversed. This could be mom, dad, teacher, or mentor. Someone in your life came through and questioned your authority, your autonomy, your ability. And you're coming through right now and saying, well, that was a moment in time. That doesn't have to be forever. Be strategic about the next step in your journey. This can also represent hasty decisions, since we have this chess piece here. So with the card in reverse, it's a lot easier and we have a lot of what looks like Mars energy in this card. Sometimes you just go with the emotion, and that might be why you're holding back. You're like, I made some decisions. I made some emotional decisions. So take a moment and get strategic and trust in your ability to do this, and then fight for what matters. Again, assuming that's Mars that he's seated on. Fight for what matters for you and fight for your power and your autonomy. You've always had it. Here's the cool thing when it comes to the energy of power. The truth is, no one can take it away. They can make you think you don't have it, or they can force their power on you, but your divine energy, your divine power is there. You can reclaim it. So this could be reclamation of power for some of you, okay? We didn't get the king, we didn't get the queen, but we got the king. Same sort of general energy around that bubble of water that I saw. He's even more zen. He's risen above it. She was half in, half out. And so for many of you, what we see is a chance for healing. So the King of Cups has a starfish on this particular deck, and that's to me, a very deep symbol, because starfish or sea stars, depending on what you want to call them, they have the ability, not all, but most species, many species, depending on where the limb is severed, they can grow it again. And actually, if they're spliced in the right way in the middle, sometimes they can grow their second. You can have two, basically. It's a form of reproduction, or they can heal, and then you've got two stars. So you may have given up something. You may feel like you lost something. An opportunity could have closed. You can open it again. You can heal. This is the ultimate card of, like, the comeback card, because of the starfish, because of that totem. So it's not lost. That's one of the messages today. You haven't lost it. You haven't lost your way. You haven't lost the potential. It's just a matter of being at peace with where you're at and saying, all right, I'm really going to tap into my creativity, into my emotional empathy, into my divine insight. And I'm not going to let all of this sort of baggage in the past hold me back. Easier said than done. You may need to, find a proper channel. Standard disclaimers apply. I'm not a therapist, but it might be good if you need to talk to someone to talk to a therapist. Or again, we mentioned other things, art, exercise, etc. This is a great month to learn, to get some work done, to focus on the small stuff. The card is reversed, but let's look at it in the upright position. Eight of Pentacles represents a good exchange of energy. I like it quite a bit. So if you want to learn something new, whether it's going to class, going to school, or just sort of dig in and say, I want to figure out more about myself on this thing. So personal introspective work, or again, traditional knowledge expansion through training and classes, all of this stuff is part of that. With the card in reverse, you might be taking a look at something that you've done and doing a few small tweaks or repairs or edits. It could be like some home improvement. It could be editing a manuscript. It could be deciding that, you've got just about everything that you need, but what if we change this and this around? Just a couple pieces need to be moved around, and then the final puzzle comes together. It's a good card overall. When it comes to your money, it's representing looking at all the sort of facts and figures. So this is a month where if you don't have a budget, try to make one. Before my mom passed away a couple years ago, I was working with her to kind of help her plan. I was like, what's your What's the income? What's the output? What's the rent? What's the utilities? I just sat down. I'm like, just do it on a piece of paper and let's just figure like a rough figure for 3 months. And then we can figure out your kind of your rough budget. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You don't have to have every single thing, just estimate it. And this gives you control, which was one of the things that we were looking for. Information, education, data, all of these things will help you pull the reins to things like your finances or your career or whatever. All right. The big thing this month, this is near future, this is outcome. It's change for the better, because change or death or rebirth is always, you read it based on the other cards. So we have a card of empowerment here, we have a card of balance, and we have a card of joy. There's some unknowns here as you step into the unknown, but that's to be expected. So let's look at the death card, one of my favorite versions of death. Why, you might ask? Because it's basically just a portal. You can see the scythe right there. You can see, the shroud there, but basically as we go through it, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. And there's always this. So yes, you let go of one thing, but you allow for another. It's basically the starfish coming through again. What was lost can be found again, maybe stronger, maybe better, who knows? So what is no longer serving you, Taurus? What is it that you really don't need or want in your life anymore? What is it that you've been sort of dragging your feet with a little bit and thinking, oh, I'll eventually get to this? I feel like that's coming knocking as well. And again, that can represent that bubble of water that I was seeing here. Something needs, it's kind of like a rain cloud. It needs to be released. So I saw release in a few different forms. This is stagnation when it's reversed. So there could be a place in your life where you're just not growing, and it could be at work, it could be in a relationship. It can also represent like you need to change up your environment, because that's the other card here that seems to be a little bit odd. So wherever you need to see the change happen, that's where your focus can be. All right. You're coming through super strong this month. We have the Queen of Wands, one of my favorite boss cards. I kind of like her a little bit more than the King of Wands, because you can see even in this illustration, she's really in touch with her magic. And the magic is innovation. It's sometimes breaking the rules a little bit, knowing where to bend and break the rules. Typically this card is in the desert, but she's got like a sunflower. She has the black cat, which is here, and she just seems really in control and not unbothered by the environment. And that might be important, since the environment is a little bit strange, and we'll talk about this in a minute. You need to be the visionary this month. You need to see it. You might need to help other people see it. The cat means you're going to land on your feet. It's magic, it's intuition, and it's also just this sort of ability to be very instinctive as well, not just intuitive, but using your instincts as well. Now we have the Two of Swords. This is your environment, and this is what I was talking about in channel messages earlier. Some people just don't get it around you. They don't understand you. They don't know what you're trying to do, or you're not feeling seen, and that's even more frustrating. In a relationship, the partner may not be appreciative. In a job, sometimes you blend in, and there could be something where you just feel like the anonymity is too much. And for those of you that love the anonymity, well, you're doing a good job at that. But if you don't, then this is a chance to say, hey, don't forget about me. I've got some things I want to talk about. Let me see what I want to... Oh, with this Two of Swords, it's kind of interesting that when I look really closely at this, it almost looks like the scales here as well of justice. So this is about finding balance in your life and not listening to the naysayers around you, okay? Nobody can take away your ability to be creative or to see something or to know something. They can just lack that imagination themselves, and I don't think it's worth trying to change that, Now, in a relationship and in a friendship, this can cut both ways, and one thing that, no pun intended, one thing that you can do with the Two of Swords is just express gratitude and appreciation. And just say, hey, I know I don't say thank you enough for this, but whatever it is that you're thanking them for, thank you, it made my day. Or I see the hard work that you're doing, and I'm sorry I haven't said it more. You have no idea how that can completely change someone's trajectory or the trajectory of your relationship. Okay, so appreciation, acknowledgement, that's going to go a long way this month. Ultimately, when we're looking at hope spheres and opportunity, I'm really happy that the Six of Pentacles is there. It's the base card that I look for financial success. It's a really key card to have work-life balance in your life, and it shows that you're learning, if not mastering, the ability to say no, as well as to say yes. So you can't give everybody everything, and that's basically the overarching purpose of the Six of Pentacles. There's always hands outstretched. This person isn't focusing so much on who's who on this particular card, but traditionally you have a person with scales and coins, and you have at least two people in front, and they have to choose which, and the people don't necessarily represent people, they can, but it's which choice is going to be better investment of energy, and where am I going to get more of a return? Am I just giving to the point of exhaustion? So manage expectations, manage energy, say no when you need to, and say yes when you want to. It's really being decisive. And this could be the challenge for some of you because this is the pinnacle of indecision. So if we need to figure out how to be decisive, it's not peer pressure. You're not going to do what's popular. You're going to do your own research. You're going to be strategic. You're going to follow your heart, and you're going to do what feels right for you. And it could be a change or a shift, but it has to be something that comes from within. For those of you that are looking to expand your social network, the Three of Cups is auspicious. Let me just take a quick drink of water here. It can represent new friendship, new opportunities, new people that are coming in. It's encouraging you to get out there as well. And I know that's easier said than done for some of you. I saw a couple people said they like to keep to themselves, kind of hermit or loner energy. But this is a good month for saying yes to some invitations, for definitely engaging with, if there's any opportunities for professional sort of things like work parties or work networking or social activities. You never know what that can open up, what door that can open up. Some of you may have met somebody new, and this card is really about not rushing it, just allowing yourself to enjoy the process of getting to know someone. The decision process is, the Three of Cups is like sampling at a buffet. You need to test a few different things out to decide what it is that you want to eat. So when you're exploring opportunities, a place that you want to go for college, a job that you want, or if you're dating for the first time, are you ready? Is this person the right match? Take it slow. Make sure that you're really exploring all of your opportunities and allowing your heart to lead the way. All right, we're going to expand this forecast now to take a deeper look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Each one of these is multifaceted. There's a disclaimer at the bottom of each. I'm not a substitute for, a doctor, a therapist, or a financial advisor. I am an intuitive, and as an intuitive, I am here to show you the opportunities. When it comes to opportunities in energy, when it comes to health, take a step back. So this is such a good card, and it was part of my message for, I believe, Aries yesterday too. But thank you, angels, for helping me to step back from what's not serving me. So I think I featured like Eight of Cups yesterday. That's a great card to think about with this. It can also be temperance, just 1 foot in, 1 foot out, deciding, should I really say this? Should I really do this? And it can be the Fool, walking in a different direction. The Fool can be walking toward or away from something. And so this month is giving you a chance to not put your foot in your mouth, to not jump into something without doing the strategic research, as evidenced with this card. Take it a step at a time, and don't be afraid to step back and get more information. That's something that we're not encouraged enough to do, because for some reason there's this illusion that if you have to ask for help or admit that you don't know something, that makes you not knowledgeable or not a good leader. It's the antithesis to that, actually. So a good leader knows when they need to do research. And smart people are willing to dig deeper and ask questions because they know that they don't know everything. It's only someone that claims that they know everything that you know that they really don't. So I think I've said everything that I need to on that one. But what you can do is use time as your best friend. You can just say, that is a great question, or this is an important decision. If it's a question that you don't know, just say, I'd like to dig a little deeper on this one. I'm not as familiar with it. Or you can simply say this, give me an hour and I'll get you some information. Because now what have you done? You've used the Emperor and the Chariot energy, and you've almost given a command. You can turn it around and just say, give me 5 minutes, or come back to me in 2 hours, or let's talk tomorrow, put it on my calendar. We'll get this sorted out. You're all affirmatives. So you can just push out that and say, yeah, I want to do it. Let's make sure that we give it the proper time though. I'm not going to rush into it. Keep speaking in affirmative, powerful statements. And if someone pushes you, just say, this isn't the right way to do it. And this is too hasty. And make sure that you go on record if that's the case. Or step back and say, well, you really need someone else because I'm not going to be rushed to this decision. Okay? And that's how you can stand your ground. Let's take a look at other things with health. That was kind of, this could be any part of your life, but with a healthy decision, it's also like what's sustainable. And you don't want to be pushed into something that isn't sustainable for you. Stagnation. Some of you may be sitting too much. Some of you may be in a rut when it comes to diet, exercise, or anything in general. So we want to mix and mingle, talk to some other people, do some other things, do some research. For those of you that are doing something important with respect to a health change, get a second opinion. You may also be at a full stop, at a dead end, and it's time to move on. So if you're in a relationship and it's over, or if you're in a job and it's just not what you want, you're not being seen or appreciated, this is basically saying, then call attention to it, figure out what you want to do your research, act strategically, look at hidden opportunities around you, and then take that leap of faith. We talked about emotions. Some of you may benefit from therapy or an outlet, whatever works best for you. Two of Swords is really reminding you that you can't ignore something. If something needs to be fixed, she's staring right at death and rebirth. You've got to address the change. And always good time to look at your eyes. We've been getting Two of Swords a lot, so it's not always about that. It's usually about sweeping something under the rug. Or like ignoring something in your body and you've got to talk to your doctor about it. Just get it sorted out, get it checked out. It's better than letting something fester. That's everything here. Try to avoid going to extremes. I'm all for having fun. 3 of Cups, 9 of Cups can sometimes be a little bit overboard. So know what the proper, and this is a card of balance. So make sure you're not overdoing it. You're not splurging too much when it comes, especially to like drinking or any sort of vice, eating, etc. Okay, that's everything with respect to health. Slow and steady. Take a step back. Don't jump into anything. That's great advice in general. All right, let's move on to wealth. Wealth is going to hit at different timelines for different people. So if you're a student, it's what you're studying. If you're working, it's your money, it's your job. And if you're retired, it's your investment of time and energy. And there's a message here. We have Mithras with sacrifice. So you don't have to sacrifice your happiness for others. You don't have to give up so much that there's nothing left. Again, we talked about the 6 of Pentacles. Choices and balance is really key here. You may be sacrificing a lot for others. So in wealth, it should be more balanced. I'm going to say, because I'm reading for you, this isn't about generosity. There are different cards that I could pull. This is literally sacrifice. So make sure that the sacrifice is worth it, that the trade-off is worth it. Each of you will have to think on that a little bit for you to kind of decide if what it is that you're giving up is worth what you're getting. It's a good thing to think about in any contract or major leap of faith. So just say, is it worth the trade-off? Is it worth what I'm sacrificing? The sacrifice could be time with your family. It could be the ability to travel freely. It could be not being able to, do your own business. Whatever it is, there's some sort of sacrifice. Could be creative control. Look at that and make sure that it's okay, that you're all right with that. That the opportunity cost is what it should be. All right, let's look at some other things with finance. So let's start it off with those of you that might be working. For those of you that are working, a change could do you good. It's time to either move up, move out, or expand. So see what you can do. There may be some places where you kind of reach the pinnacle. Some of you want to go back to school. Good for you. That looks really good. Or get some additional training. I like it. It looks like a happy outcome and it could change everything. So that's a good thing. If you're unhappy, disenfranchised, and bored, it's time to move on. That's what these 3 cards can represent when reversed. What we want to see is empowered, creative, and really grateful for where you're at. The potential is there, but if you're not feeling it, then this isn't the right match for you. Say no a little bit more if you need to allow for more connection to the things that you love the most, especially when it comes to saying yes to a party, a celebration, family, etc. You may decide to do something really unusual. This is a change card. So transformation, death, or the Tower. This is saying something. Some of you want to go in and completely rebuild something. There could be a merger, takeovers where some of you are working, but something has to change, and I'll leave it at that. If you're a student, you might be changing your major. If you're retired, you might be changing your focus. You might be moving. You might be doing. It's a significant shift. It's not the same old, and I think again, it's choosing the path of balance and joy. And there's a lot to like about those decisions. That's everything for wealth. As we move into love, it can represent all aspects of relationships, friends, family, and platonic relationships, as well as loved ones. So appropriately enough, the heart chakra came through here, and we have Raphael, which is all about healing. We talked about the healing power of the sea star or starfish. And so this is a month to achieve healing. And for some of you, to heal the wound of loss, divorce, or separation. Because we have death here, and death is symbolic, but it can be literal. So when you divorce, or when you quit a job, or when you lose someone, it all cuts in a very similar fashion at the energy around the heart. And so Raphael is coming through, which is a great archangel to work with if you like to connect to the angelic realm, to help heal the heart and say, I'm ready to get myself out there again, love again, rebound. And that's really what we do see here. Death, and then the Three of Cups is rebound energy. Come back. And again, that comeback can be in any part of your life, but especially in relationships. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to express yourself. We're taught sometimes to feel shame or to close ourselves down. We need to spin the wheels of the chakras open. I remember when I was first kind of opening up intuitively, I was talking with a colleague that was a Reiki teacher, and basically I was feeling so much at the time. I was like, how do I shut this down a little bit? She's like, oh, honey, you just need to spin those wheels brighter. You can't shut them down. You'll die. You won't die. But she says that's the opposite. We don't want to dim the light and close it all off. We want to open it up. And we want you to be as strong as possible so that only the higher frequencies come in. So we did a meditation to spin the wheels a little bit brighter. And I'm looking at the wheel of the heart chakra. So let's spin your wheel a little bit brighter. Don't shut it down. I'm here to help you brighten your energy. You're never going to dim it on this channel. We want to bring it up a little bit. Anyone in your life that's trying to tell you to dim it a little bit, really reevaluate that relationship and think if it's worth it, okay? Let's focus on 3 different aspects of relationships. We're going to look at those of you in a relationship, seeking a relationship, or happily single. If you're already in a loving relationship, I like to read it in 2 different fashions. Let's imagine everything's good and the tricky cards are just challenges that you'll work through. And then we'll look at the tricky cards for some of you as full stops. So for those of you in a really strong relationship, here's what I see. Well, yeah, we got 2 kings here. We also have a queen. Some of you are in a complicated relationship. There could be an ex in the picture, like maybe there's a child and there's a shared sort of custody situation. Some of you are in an open relationship. Some of you may not have fully kind of gotten rid of that ex and they're sort of in the periphery. So there is a question with that previous energy, in or out, and that's a choice you'll have to make. But let's assume everything's good in the relationship. What I do see are power struggles at play. These 2 can be seen as components of your relationship. A boss and a middle manager is what these 2 cards would be. So both of you have this really strong personality. One of you tends to get their way. One is a little bit more sensitive to the other. Both are strong. So the king and the queen can represent the 2 of you, King of Cups, Queen of Wands. And then this can represent the power struggle. The 3 court cards can also represent a third party in the picture, again, for any number of reasons. It can also represent a parent, which can still be a third party, which can still be kind of creating this tension between you. This is a month to create some fresh, new approaches to your relationship. For the healthy relationships, a little bit more time together, sparking the passion, right? better choices when it comes to how much time you're working and spending with others, making sure that there's enough, together time, and then acknowledging one another. Some of you are at a full stop in your relationship, and that's okay. We see a rebound on the long horizon here. It's important for you to feel wanted, needed, and appreciated. Okay? The good news is there's a happy outcome no matter what, and balance no matter what. So you're either going to work through this together, or you're going to find that happiness on your own. Acknowledgement and gratitude is the one thing that will help you no matter what. Change is the one thing that will help no matter what. A resistance to change is probably going to mean that it's not going to progress. The relationship can't grow unless change is a part of it. Some of you, by the way, could be losing something in your life. There could have been there could be a loved one, there could be monetary loss or a change. This can be also graduation or retirement, something big like that. So be there for each other through the change. If you're looking for love this month, can you find it? Yeah, but it's going to be karmic. The Death card represents someone from the past. You can't control the how and the when. The Two of Swords means they usually will pop up unexpectedly. The nature of the person is a fire sign. They're bossy, but they're nice and they're creative. And there's passion with this person too. And there's magic. There's chemistry. So if you're ready, yes. But here's the things that could be kind of like pulling you away from this potential partner. How's your schedule looking? Are you working too much? How are you feeling? If you're in a place emotionally where that bubble, that water bubble is in front of you, you won't see through to see the other person, or it's going to be a warped version of them. So you need to kind of clear out the heart space, make the changes necessary, lean into gratitude, and work on yourself a little bit this month. Then this person will just come through naturally. But yes, there's potential. It's a great month to date. It's a great month to hang out with friends. It's a great month whether you're in a relationship or looking for a relationship to kindle the spark. If you're single and happy, it's a good time to network. It feels like you really want to put your energy in learning, and you might be saying no to certain things. Make sure you say yes to a couple of invitations, because it could open up strategic partnerships. Partnerships take on a different light if you're single and happy. People are still going to be in your life. The minute you walk out the door, you see people. But so what we want to focus on is really you working on management skills, autonomy, authority, you working on self-development or education, and finding proper balance in your life. And no matter what, some of you are going to find a karmic relationship or a significant change that's going to open up a lot of doors. Okay, let's look at destiny. It's always changing based on who you are, where you're at, what you're feeling. Here's what we're picking up on right now. I'll just pick up the card here. You're like, oh, thank you, Nicholas. Just what I wanted to see, a tarantula. Well, tarantulas are pretty awesome. I've done some research with this as a totem before. Here's what I like about tarantulas. It's basically the hermit. So they don't spin a traditional web. They spin a little, some of them kind of live in a little bit of a cave or pocket in the soil, and they'll put a little bit of silk around that. Sometimes they'll close it off, but they don't spin a web. What they instead do is they pounce, they move really fast, and they use their little fangs, they're the venom. So speed and knowledge is what a tarantula represents. Knowledge is the hermit, and the speed with which they can move, not all at once. Usually they're kind of slow, but when they need to go faster, they can. So kind of cool totem, right? Timing and knowledge is the key to success, and that's what the tarantula reminds us. And things that may seem a little bit scary may end up being really awesome because it's a cool insect, or arachnid, I guess, technically. So anyway, cool. Let me see. Actually, it may be a different, when I did my research, it might be a different part. I'm not a biologist, whatever it is. It's cool. It's a cool part of nature. All right, so let's move a little deeper and take a look at sun, rising, and moon. And for those of you that are cross-watching for those aspects of your chart, perfect timing. Let's see what's coming through. Well, how appropriate is it that we got the sun for the sun? Wheel of Fortune for rising. the world for Moon. This is a good month for you. These are all, so this is basically amplified and explained with these 3 cards. It's changed for the best, not just for the better, but for the absolute best on what I'm seeing here. So for the Sun, we got the Sun. And this is about reconnecting to your higher self. This is such a beautiful illustration. Normally we would see a little child riding on a pony. So there's the inner child that's coming out to play, but it's also connection to source. In the same way that the star is a connection to source. I mean, the star and the sun, 2 different words for the same type of celestial object. We just call our star the sun. So this is really connecting to higher self. We can see a little bit of a rebirthing energy here. So we have an egg at the center of the sun here. So this is a chance for you to have some fun, because with the little baby on the sun card is playful. And sometimes we forget the importance of having fun. So there's definitely that piece. The other thing is surrendering to trying to control everything. And let me see if there's anything else that I want to mention with this. Oh, if there's anything that you've been holding on to for too long, this is basically saying this is the time to birth it. And it's okay to prioritize yourself. It's okay to speak up, have some fun, be yourself. And again, don't dim your light. Really shine brightly here. So I like everything about this card. The Sun also brings order to things. So we had 2 really strong cards that were saying you could be the boss. So I talk about the genesis of this universe that not this universe, but this solar system. At the beginning of any sort of solar system, it's just a pocket of dust, and the sun starts to spin and everything starts to spin around it. And so you're kind of like a conductor or a cleaner, and you're kind of finding order in disorder. And that's what's going on with this as well. And at the center of that is also a star. So we have the star and the sun kind of coming through and saying, you can do this, all right? Really, really love this energy. For those of you that might be trying to get pregnant as well, this card is particularly connected to fertility because it's a baby, and I also see an egg here. So it's a great time to conceive. It's also a great time to birth a project, an idea, or to announce something. Rising and ascending here. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Take a chance on yourself. It's like that old ABBA song, Take a Chance, where they keep saying that. So the wheel here is kind of looks like casino chips, right? So it's a calculated risk and also leap of faith. And we can also see the dice there around her, like her necklace. This is also her pulling at the energy of like time and space a little bit. So I mentioned like spinning those wheels. So for some of you, you're going to decide this is worth it. And it's kind of like the silly game show with the Wheel of Fortune. But are you ready to move forward? Because you have to move to see what the world has to offer you. The world is the next card. So this is about strategically taking a step, sometimes taking a calculated risk, and it's worth it. The wheel is advocating for your worth, for your value, and speaking up like, I want this, or we talked about this, or are you interested in this? Really kind of putting it out on the table, okay? And it's a good card. It's a change of fortune. It's a change of direction. The world and the wheel and the death card, they're all significant changes. So the wheel is very auspicious, though. It can be things like graduation, advancement, or completing a goal, or just feeling really connected and like everything is moving. So I like that. All right. And I like that we were talking about wheels. Things should start to feel like they're moving for you. Rising and ascendant has to deal with how people view you in your life. It can be your career. It's really auspicious to get the Wheel of Fortune in that, I have to say. All right, let's now move on to moon sign messages, and we have the world. So the sun, the wheel, and the world, I mean, these are fantastic cards. All major arcana too. And that's hard to get sometimes when I do this component of the reading. So she's in the middle of another wheel here. And she's stepping through things. It looks more like it's an Ouroboros, actually, on this particular card. But anyway, this is and it looks like the platonic solids on the side, just to geek out. But this is everything coming together, everything starting to really sort of come into focus. The timing, the nature could be a little unexpected. The card was reversed, topsy-turvy. If we take a quick look at the cards in front of us, there's an element of surprise to change. And there's a blessing or an opportunity that's right here. You might need to take a step back in order to see it. So this World card is saying, for some of you, you may end up, let's say there's a person that you love, a job that you want, a place you want to go to school, an opportunity that you're really attached to, but it's not where you're at. This could be a move. This could also be someone wanting you to do something that's going to increase visibility, accountability, and things of that. It's going to change you. Well, this month was all about change. We want to take these two cards and pull them in the upright position so you can walk through that opportunity and be all that you can possibly be. It's a good month, folks. I'm excited about what's coming through Taurus. Yes, there are some challenges. For some of you, stagnation. For some of you, not being seen. For some of you, unexpected timing around this expansion. But there are also opportunities for joy, for more balance in your life. And to me, those are always good things. Let's get ready now for the final component. Before we do that, just a quick reminder, if you joined a little late and you've never subscribed, do me a favor and subscribe. It is optional, but it helps. It's kind of like a free tip. Even more free is just to hit that like button. You can do it even if you're not subscribed. Later when this is on replay, also do me a favor and comment. Engagement is a #1 way to say thank you. For those of you that want to give back a little bit more, thank you in advance, first and foremost. In the spirit of just being grateful. But you can do that through this icon. That's how you can join, give a sticker, or gift a membership or something like that. Okay, so thank you so much. Let's get into the meditation portion. There's no way that I'm not going to work with the energy of the sun and the star because we kept seeing solar energy coming through. So this is kind of what we're going to connect to. Take a moment, get comfortable, take a drink of water if you need to, and then stick around. This is only about 3 minutes, and then we'll get into a final question. Final question will be anything that I haven't answered that you still have kind of lingering in your head. So scribble that down, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. On the exhale, just kind of melt into wherever you're at. If you're driving or walking, obviously you can do this component later. Just stick around until we do the question, and you can just listen to the sound of my voice as we're doing this. All right, so if you are in a place where you can meditate, I'd like you to close your eyes and see yourself at the dawn of a brand new day. And if you're like me, here in California, we have a seasonal thing in May and June where we don't see the sun for a while. And not many people that don't live here know that. It's called like May gray and June gloom. So just think of it like a really foggy day in London or in Seattle. So yeah, we'll basically have this sort of marine layer that comes in. So imagine that you are at the dawn of a new day, but there are clouds initially in the sky. And there's something kind of magical about the fog. So see the fog, see the mist, see the clouds, and have faith that there's something beyond the fog. Because sometimes, ye of little faith, we think that I can't see it, therefore it isn't. The high priestess within you knows that that's not valid. Sometimes you have to see it within in order to open a path to it. So imagine what it is. For each of you, this shall be unique, but see what it is. It could be love, it could be happiness, it could be balance, it could be money, I don't care. Whatever it is you're trying to bring into your life, see it beyond the fog bank. And then imagine that you're going to shine a spotlight with your heart towards whatever that is. And imagine now that as you're doing that, the mist starts to separate, the clouds start to move out, and on the other end is the sun that's rising. And between you and the sun is whatever it is that you're bringing into your life, into your energy. And with each breath that you take, imagine that you're bringing it closer and closer. It's getting brighter and brighter, and you feel more and more content and in control of your life and your manifestation. Keep breathing, keep clearing the clouds. And as we do that, I'm going to play the singing bowl, and then I'll look at the final question that you have for me. See yourself get brighter and lighter with each breath that you take. And just breathe. Take one last long inhale and a gentle exhale. And when you finally let out the last bit of breath, open your eyes and see yourself now completely resplendent, ready to manifest, and feeling this sense of power, empowerment, and possibility. Okay. Turn your attention now to your final question. Again, eyes open, focusing on that question. Don't type it, just think it. And let's see what the cards have to say with respect to whatever it is that you still want to know about. Ace of Cups, fantastic. We like that. By the way, I noticed for a moment we had like 111 people there. I was like, look at that angel number. That was so exciting. So anyway, to my 100 plus people that are watching today, we have the Ace of Cups coming through, which is saying, yes, you can do this. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, the work that we've been doing on spinning that wheel of the heart open is working. Archangel Raphael, thank you for being present. Continue to work with Raphael this month and do what your heart desires. Obviously not in just like, not like every single moment of the day, but this is really higher calling, higher purpose. Open yourself up to love and abundance and activities that open the heart, that create that sort of unconditional joy and love that you deserve. You deserve it, okay? Yes, this can also be new love coming into your life. Yes, this represents a change for the better. Yes, this is about embracing happiness. All really good stuff. All right, by the way, if you are still here, and I hope you are, hit the like button. Let's get this up a little bit since we have a decent amount of people here today. I'd like to take a moment here to say thanks to everybody, but before I do that, a quick reminder that in case you want to get recaps or you forgot to watch and you want reminders, you can always join me on social media where I will post daily card pulls and also in the stories, usually a reminder of videos that have already happened so that you never miss out on something. A reminder that I do not give private readings, so anyone that offers one is not me. Please block and report them if you get any invitations. And again, it's only my name unless otherwise listed on my website or on the About tab here on YouTube. If you'd like to give back, you can still do that. And I want to take a few moments now to thank everybody. First-time viewers, welcome. I hope you stick around. I hope you come back. New subscribers or new members, thank you so much. And if you gave back, thank you as well. I'm going to call out the newest members and anybody that gave a sticker just to say thank you. And we have enough time, so I might also just welcome the members that are in the chat right now. But first things first, let's welcome the newest members, if I can get the tab open here, and we'll go from there. All right, so today we had one brand new member, Star Magic. Let's see, Star Magic 369, thank you for becoming a member. Yesterday, one joined as well, Sana, thank you so much, or Sana Badi, I think it is. All right, so let's look at super stickers and super chat, and then we'll wrap up here. All right, we have Diane, thank you so much. April Rain, good to see you again. Oh, no, yeah, actually, no, there was none for today. These were for yesterday, but thanks to those people anyway. For today, I'm just going to welcome the members. Since we didn't get any of the contributions. So to the members present, Jill, welcome. Good to see you here. Andre Buddy, good to see you as well. Let's see, Monica, and I think that's everybody. So thank you to my existing members. I know I did this at a sort of an impromptu time, so smaller audience than usual, but good to have all of you here. From my heart to yours, have a great weekend. Welcome to June. This is for July, but welcome to the new month, no matter which month you're watching. And I'll see you again on Sunday for the collective reading. In the meantime, take special care of yourself. Have a great one, and thank you for being a part of my day as well. Bye-bye.